Hello, everybody, and welcome to Girls Unscripted. My name is Kate.
I'm Carolyn.
So, fair warning, guys, we did have some audio issues, so apologies if we don't sound as crisp as usual, but please don't let that deter you from listening to this episode because we have some insane stories to tell you. We met Meredith Marks, Ariana Madix. We have to tell you about it, so bear with us. What's up, Gabbers, and welcome to another exhilarating episode of Girls Unscripted. My name is Kate.
My name is Carolyn.
And we have so much to talk to you guys about. I honestly just want to jump right into it because, Carolyn, we teased this last week. We have to tell everyone about how we went to wait, I have to say it the right way.
You have to say the full thing. Give it its due honor.
The Entertainment Weekly, People Magazine, and DIRECTV's Fall Reality TV Kickoff Party.
Ever heard of it?
It was sick. So our friend who we mention on this podcast all the time.
Literally all the time.
Sydney Bucksbaum. She works for Entertainment Weekly. She has the coolest job ever. And she got us an invite to this party, but had to say which is true, obviously, if you're listening to this, had to say they have a reality TV podcast. Because this was not, according to Sydney, not a party where there were really plus ones or anything. And I believe that because everywhere Carolyn and I turned, there was another reality star. I felt like I was watching TV.
Okay, so I got there before Kate did, and I was freaking out because I literally walked in the building and boom, there's Tom Schwartz. Boom, there's Jesse from the Valley. Boom. And I literally almost have a panic attack. I'm like, whoa, this is not, I didn't expect it so quickly. So I go to the bathroom and I'm in the stall, literally just sitting there waiting for Kate to get there. And who comes in? None other but Queen herself, Ariana Madix. And she is talking with someone about her dress. And I freeze. I am frozen in the stall. I have a picture of it. I'm going to send it.
Oh, you need to send it.
To our Instagram because I'm literally in there looking like a damn fool because I'm too nervous to come out, and I'm better than that. And I need to be better than that for you guys. And next time, I promise. But as you'll hear, it wasn't our last run-in with Ariana. Take it away, Kate.
Well, we'll get to that. But I will say, I get it though, because it's kind of like, look, walking into a party alone or anywhere alone is scary for anyone. That's like a common thing. Then multiply it by 1,000,000 because you're a reality TV fan walking into a party of reality TV stars alone. And it's a bit much.
Yeah, I've worked with actors before. I've worked on major motion pictures. I usually don't get starstruck, but reality people, I get so tongue-tied and loosey-goosey that I can't handle it.
I actually do think it's different. And you and I were talking a little bit about this, but someone once asked me what celebrity would I get the most starstruck over? And my response was, honestly, anyone from Vanderpump Rules or Jersey Shore. Because I've just watched them so much and I feel like I know them, but I've never met. I think there's something about when you're watching an actor, you're watching a character. But with reality, I know you.
Right? It's not only do I recognize you, I know way too much about your life.
Right.
Some might say too much about your life. So it's not just seeing someone that plays a character, it's seeing someone that is themselves as a job. So it's so interesting. I enjoyed it.
No, 100%. Yeah. So I'm in the valet line. Carolyn was maybe there 7 minutes before me. And these are the texts. Actually, it starts with me saying, I'll be there in 6. And she says, I'm a loser. Next text. OMG, I'm in the bathroom with Lala. Next text. I don't know. I'm hiding in the stall. I need you. Next text. I'm overwhelmed. Next text. Now we're in all caps. OMFG, it's Ariana. Next text. And now I'm stuck. Next text. They're just staying in here. OMFG, they need to leave. This is so awkward. Next text. I'm in a stall. Mayday. You really were freaking out.
As I said, I couldn't keep my cool. I couldn't keep it. I really spiraled there for a moment. But you came in and you were like, Carolyn, and I swear I felt as if I were like a child that needed the police, and they finally like, rescue me. And I was
Well, yeah,
like,
because I walk in and the bathroom is not only empty, but it is so quiet you could hear a pin drop. So I'm like, Carolyn? And then you like whip open the door and you're like, oh, thank God you're here.
oh, it's so embarrassing. Oh my
No,
God.
it's funny. It's fun. So, okay. So then we're like, all right, let's get out there. Let's get a drink. I mean, I was nervous too. It's shit like that's scary, especially because, and you and I struggle with this, it's the whole imposter syndrome thing. It's like, we kind of felt like we didn't belong there. And it actually hit a point where you and I had a conversation where we were like, these people could think we were on a reality show. They don't know. Like,
And they did.
like we were meeting people from Big Brother that we would have never known, you know?
Right.
So it's like, we're like, let's just lean into this. We got a drink, settle the nerves. I'm trying to think of who was the first. Oh, I know who the first people we talked to was. It was our Run-In with the Valley cast.
Yes, because there was this like not a step and repeat. What would you call that, Kate?
It was like a photo op where they had like a couch and you could wait in line and like take a beautiful photo with it.
It was like a chaise couch where you could take a really pretty picture, and everyone was doing it. And so we were at first we were like, okay, well, we want pictures ourselves. We made friends with this girl from Big Brother, Lisa.
She's the glitter queen.
Glitter queen. She puts glitter in drinks. She did it with ours.
Which at one point she kept going up to people and putting glitter in their drinks. And I'm like, people are going to think you're drugging this party.
She made Sheena do it, and we took I felt uncomfortable videoing.
To be honest, it would have been the most perfect pyramid scheme to be like, can I put glitter in your drink? And really, she's like poisoning every single person at the party.
Can you imagine? Everyone just drops like flies. Like,
well, you would have dropped because you were her first customer.
Oh, I drank that champagne. It was just one like little flute of glitter, let me tell you.
It did look cool.
It did look really cool. And we look across and we get in an awkward standstill, like, is it your turn, our turn, your turn, with the entire cast of the Valley. And who is the guy? Kate.
Jared Lips.
Jared.
So he had two major plot points in the Valley last season. They went to his charity event because he had some sort of illness, and they went to that big charity event for him. And then he also hosted their like couples night where they did trivia, where Brittany ended up having to leave and Jax was by himself. He was like the host of their trivia night. Anyone would recognize him in a heartbeat.
I recognized him, but then he like looked me up and down and goes, slay. And I about nearly fainted and looked all around me, and I was like, is he talking to me?
He was actually awesome because like we were like, no, you guys take the photo first. He's like, no, you go. You go. So we end up taking photos around the same time as them. We went first, and we definitely took our good ass time on that couch, but they were doing other shit, so it was fine. And then we were kind of like where you got the photos, it was really like clustered and congested. And we were kind of just standing around there, and Janet was like right in front of us. And she was wearing like this blazer, and I was also wearing a blazer. So I just was like, I love your blazer. I really need to get more of those. And we started talking a little bit, and then we were like, we love the Valley. We didn't say we do a Valley recap podcast, but we were like, we love the Valley, by the way. And immediately, remember Carolyn, she goes, please don't hate me.
Yeah, she was on a PR trail that night. Like, yeah. I'm not that mean, I promise.
Yeah, I'm not that mean. That's just how the show makes me. Please don't hate me. And Carolyn and I were both like, you just tell it like it is. That's fine. She was like, that's what I thought. I thought I just tell it like it is. She actually seemed cool. Like it was like talking to someone we would be friends with, but she was nice.
She's like, wait for this season. I thought she was really cool. Yeah, and she was nice to like try to tell us that she was nice. I don't know. It
made me sad that she probably reads like all the comments and is like, holy shit, I'm being made out to be the villain.
I know, and that this whole party like hates her. That is like a sad place to be.
Like the second we said we love the Valley, she was like, don't hate me. I'm trying to go in order of who we talked to.
K-Girl was next.
Kristen Doute.
Yes.
That was a big one too. We kind of like harassed her. We like ran to her.
I would categorize it as an ambush. We
ambushed her ass.
And her hottie boyfriend, Luke. You're so right, Kate. He is so much hotter in person.
He is.
And he was charming. I was like, ooh, who be this Colorado boy?
He is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is tall. He is scruffy. There is something about him in person. So basically, she was just walking with Luke, and we just were like, we need to go congratulate her on her engagement.
Congratulate her, because she just got engaged.
So we went up to her and we were like, we don't know you, but we feel like we know you. Congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's about all we got out of her. Maybe
Well,
she was overwhelmed by the ambush.
But then Luke came up mid thank you and thinks that Kristen's talking to someone she knows. And so he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know you guys. And we're like, well, you really don't know us. Like, we're Kate and
We
Carolyn.
literally looked at him and said, oh yeah, no, you don't know us. We don't know you. We just wanted to congratulate you. She wasn't really about it, but you know what? I feel like that it was a delicate ballet, because I feel like that was an event where it's like, it's all reality people. So you're not really like getting talked to by fans.
I felt for these people when I was like, even at these events, they're getting approached to do things for products. Like, it's hard to just act like
that was
you're
a tough
happy
one
about every single person coming up to you all the time. Like, but everyone I saw there do it like was a pro. They were all
they were. So Glitter Girl went up to Sheena. She kind of like hung around with us for a little bit, and we like were chatting, and it was great. But then Sheena was in the orbit, and I have this thing, because not only do we have this podcast, but I also have a TikTok, and I feel like a fucking stalker when all I do is talk about these people, and then I see them in person, and like, I'm sure maybe Sheena has seen my face on TikTok or on here speaking about her.
You were so worried that Sheena was giving you side eye.
I think she was. And I don't ever want people to not like me, and it makes me feel really fucking bad. And that's why I try so hard to stay non-biased, but I've had opinions about Sheena, whatever, that's a fact. The girl that was doing the glitter kept saying, oh, I need to get a video with Sheena. I need to get a video with Sheena. And you and I both kind of like Homer Simpson in the bushes, like, we don't want to be a part of that.
Please don't involve us in this, yeah.
And we weren't, until all of a sudden I see a phone in my face. Can you film this? And it's just me, the girl with the glitter, and Sheena, and I'm behind the phone filming this girl glittering Sheena's drink, and Sheena's like, Sheena was a fucking pro, and she's like talking right to the camera, and here's the funny thing, Sheena most likely has no idea who I am. She is someone I'm so self-conscious about, just because I know I haven't.
Well, I've
had opinions.
First, Sheena was nice enough to be like, a Big Brother girl's like, say it. She's like, it's good as gold.
Oh yeah. She was really.
Which I thought was just like, she played a lot. She was such a good sport. Your theory of her giving you side eye, I did think was a little crazy, until it was validated a little later in the evening. When do we want to reveal what happened?
Okay, you've really been hyping up this moment, Carolyn.
Because this was a core memory for Kate that I am so honored that I saw to be a part of. Say it.
Okay.
What happened?
So Ariana Madix. Ever heard of her? She was hosting the event. She was the belle of the ball. She's taking pictures. It was her event, right? And like I said, I'm not really going up to too many people. I was not going to go up to Ariana because she's busy. We're all just talking, and like me, you, and Sydney, and I literally get a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around, and it is Ariana, who came up to me, somebody say ambushed me, and said, oh my God, I love your TikToks. And I could not believe it. For some reason, my response was to look at her dead in the face and say, shut the fuck up. Like, I just didn't believe that she was coming up to me. And then she was like, no, like, really, like, I love your TikToks. You teach me all about, I'm trying to like remember, I should have written it down, like that moment of what she said. But she was like, you teach me so much about shows I don't watch, like the Mormon Wives, which I'm not surprised she saw those videos, because like those are like my heavy hitters on the talk. But you could tell she was like, yeah, it's like, she goes, you're killing it with your mini mic. Like, you could tell she really like knew me and knew of me and watched my videos. And I went to like shake her hand. I was like, oh my God, thank you. I'm Kate. And she just kind of giggled and like shook my hand, and I go, okay, can I give you a hug? And she was like, yes. And we like gave each other a hug. And I did say to her, I was like, I appreciate you saying that. I feel weird sometimes being at events like this, because I talk about you guys and now I'm here. And she just like totally validated me and was like, do not feel that way. You're just doing what you're supposed to do. And then Sydney later on made a comment that was like, reality TV wouldn't exist without like word of mouth, and you guys are keeping them in business, so they want you to talk about them, so that made me feel better. But yeah, we talked for a really long time and it was really great, and she was so nice, and honestly I felt like I could have talked to her longer, and it's cool because now I feel like if I'm ever out about in the world, I could say hi to her and she would know who I am. And then, lucky for us, right as we were talking to her, the photographer who was basically following her all night asks if he could take a photo, and I'll show our gabbers our beautiful
There we are.
of
There's
us.
oh my God.
It's honestly an iconic photo.
It's iconic. She was stunning. She's
Stunning.
even more stunning in person.
Small.
Like her eyes, she's she's much shorter than I thought she was for like such a big personality. And she was so nice. That was so nice of her to come and say that. She seems graceful. Like, I don't know. I just am doubling down on my Ariana fandom after meeting her because she was so great.
It felt really, really genuine, actually. Yeah. And it made me think of how she is in the show, of how like she was so welcoming of Raquel, like open to Sheena when Sheena was like kind of being friends with Sandoval. Like, I really think that's just how she is. I could feel it. And I was so glad that you and Sydney were right there, because that was one of those moments where I had to like just turn around and look at you. What?
My mic wasn't going.
I wonder
we'll use the Zoom.
Yeah, we'll use the Zoom.
I'm so sorry. God, I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I'm sorry. I thought it was recording, but it wasn't.
You flagged it. It's okay. I just looked down and her face, she looked like all the blood just drained from her face.
Well, because we've been talking for like minutes about all this, and it's like important stuff.
So picking up where we left off, I just was so glad that you and Sydney were there for that moment, because that was one of those things where I literally had to turn around and look at you guys and be like, did that just fucking happen? And like, you guys were so amazing, because I was like trying to be cool and you were like, no, that's so fucking sick. Like be excited. That's really amazing that just happened.
And you were freaking excited.
But you also got recognized, Carolyn. Do you remember that?
I mean, you're being sweet. I got pseudo recognized.
You got recognized for being on the podcast.
Yes, because I'm on the podcast with you, because he's such a big fan of you.
Well, he said he saw our clip. So if you guys are familiar with he goes by Zachary Reality. He is like a huge TikToker, YouTuber, always talking about reality TV stuff. And he was so nice too. And he did say, he was like, I want to be a guest on your podcast. And I'm like, we do need to have more guests. The last time it was just more work when we had a guest. Yeah. So like we need to do it again, because it was fun having, when we had Christina on, it was fun. But yeah, and he was like, and he looked at Carolyn and he's like, wait, I know you. And then he's like, oh, you're on the podcast too. Yeah, I've seen clips of you guys. I think that you got recognized.
Ooh, I'll take it.
So Carolyn now is at the point where she's getting a little bit more comfortable, okay? She's not as nervous as she was in the beginning. And at one point, Sydney and I, you weren't with us for like 10 minutes maybe, and we were like, where the fuck did Carolyn go? And you come like running back and you're like, oh, sorry, I was just talking to Alexis Bellino from Real Housewives of Orange County.
Alexis and I were, because we were like, the table, like you said, it was really crammed. So we were just like bumping shoulders for like 10 minutes. And so it's almost weird if I didn't say something, but guys, this is where I took it too far. I don't know if I was more comfortable or less comfortable, because I went completely psychotic and I lost control of what I was saying. And I go up to her, I'm like, this is so bad. I go up to her and I'm like, Alexis, because she was next to John Jansen. I was like, Alexis, congratulations on your love story. And she was like, really? She was so honored that someone said that. She was like, thank you. And then I just went on and on about how like they're meant for each other. Guys, I don't know why I said that. It was like a puppet took control of my mouth, and I was just speaking of like, yep, you guys deserve it. I know love when I see it. Man,
well, it seemed like she was appreciative.
She was so appreciative, and she's like, yeah, that means so much to us. It sounds as if they've been going through the ringer, which I wouldn't be surprised. But then she was like, thank you so much. And what show are you from? And I was like, none. I'm not. I'm just a human.
I didn't realize she said that. That's how you know, like, we should not have been there. And it was amazing.
I know. She was like, what was your show? What do you do? And I was like, oh, it wasn't a show. Bye, Alexis. And then went and found you guys.
We also talked to
I'm a
Reza.
psycho.
You're not a psycho. I think that was great.
Oh, we didn't talk to Reza.
I forget that we talked to Reza from Shaws of Sunset, and I just always liked Reza. I don't know why. It's when I saw him, I'm like, I just want to speak words to him. I felt kind of bad because Gigi, also from Shaws of, did you ever watch Shaws of Sunset?
Yes, yes.
So Gigi was like right next to him, and I wanted to like include her in the conversation, but I literally was just like, I'm so sad he got voted out of Traitors first, and then he just like went off. There was no stopping this man, and apparently the living conditions weren't very good on season 1 of Traitors.
What did he say?
He was like, they treat us like
in a man's house down the road. Like,
yeah, he's like, we're living in the house of the poor people that live down the road. The sewer rats lived better than us. Like, he was being so dramatic, but it was so funny. It was very Reza.
Oh, and then I was like, oh, they don't actually stay in the castle. Duh, they don't stay in the castle. I don't know.
I knew
why
they didn't
thought
stay in the
did.
castle, but I thought they were like a nice
like a hotel or something.
But
Not
he was like,
home.
he was like, that's why you don't do first season shows. They're always bad. But then we asked him about The GOAT, which neither you or I watched, but it was another like reality TV show where they bring in a bunch of reality TV people, and Kristen Doute was on it, and he was like, I love The GOAT. That was so much fun. So he had good things to say about that one, at least.
Oh my God. I need to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I'm curious. And then at the end of the night, which this, I think you and I both agreed we were the most starstruck over. Well, maybe Ariana.
Oh God, how could I forget?
Meredith Marks.
Holy crap. Guys, we literally had just recorded our podcast talking about Meredith for like 20 minutes. And then we go see her in person. And let me tell you, that sounded like Donald Trump. I was trying to do like
it did sound like Donald Trump. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you. It was fantastic. No, that she was gorgeous and tiny and beautiful. And she was on the couch thing while we were standing off, and we were like being her hype girls, like, yes, girl, queen. At least I was. I don't remember at this point. She also was on the couch with none other than Karen Huger, who I also was like, yes, Karen, slay, queen, just being hype girls. But after they took their photos, we were all waiting for photos. And that's when we went up to Meredith and talked to her about
her bat mitzvah. Because she was just standing there, and I could tell she was there alone. Well, I think she was there with a friend. I couldn't tell if it was a friend or a driver, because I heard him say like, all right, Meredith, it looks like it's wrapping up. Are you ready to go? And she was like, well, I kind of have to wait here for my photo to print. So then we just were like, all right, we're just going to talk to her. And we said, we're loving the 5th season of the show. We just watched the 2nd episode, and that scene between you and Seth was really beautiful. And she was like, oh, thank you. Thank you.
That's it. That's way better than I was. Yeah.
I was like, did you end up getting bat mitzvah? And she goes, I did. You're going to see it play out throughout the show. It's so beautiful. Well, this will be a 2-hour-long podcast if I keep doing her voice. But she was like, I did end up getting bat mitzvah. You'll see it on the show. She seemed really happy about it. And then I can't even remember exactly what we talked to her about, but we were kind of just like truly gabbing away. And then I took a risk, and I made a joke with Meredith, who famously people say doesn't have a sense of humor. And I was like, and you know what, Meredith, every time I take a bath, I think of you. You are the queen of the baths. And she goes, thank you. Finally, somebody that understands I'm the queen of the bath. And she kind of like laughed.
Yeah, it was like self-aware humor.
She was joking. Like, she understood the joke. Like, she was kind of giggling back with us.
I joked. I was like, that's a weird thing to say, Kate. Like,
yeah.
every time. And
I did. Yeah, I regretted that a little bit. But
No, I think it worked out well. And you asked about her son, Brooks.
I did. I forgot about that.
She could neither confirm nor deny, but she did give a knowing look that he might be in a reality show being filmed.
I heard it's called like Making It in New York, right? So I was like, oh, what about Brooks's show? I heard they were filming. And she was like, we'll see. I don't know. To me, I was gathering that it didn't go.
I was getting that it happened. And she wasn't allowed to say so.
Well, we know it was filming.
Right, but you don't think the pilot is even going to air?
I don't know.
Well, she did a good job of keeping us on our toes.
I guess neither of us are sure.
Yeah, so she did a good job.
It was just an amazing night, and we were so excited to come and tell you guys about it, because we had specific rules. We weren't allowed to like interview or videotape anyone, but we were allowed to discuss it on our podcast.
Yes, and everyone was so nice. Thank you, Sydney, again for getting us in. Thank you, E-Weekly. Can't wait for the next one, really. I feel like I need another chance at bat.
All right, now let's get into a little bit of a weekly reality gab. We've got two big things before we get into our Real Housewives Roundup. Did you hear Secret Lives of Mormon Wives got renewed for season 2?
Absolutely. And did you see who was like at the front of the photo announcing it?
Who?
Well, maybe it was just a photo from something else. But Whitney.
Well, I think maybe people are, because I've been hearing it's like it's renewed for season 2 ... with every single cast member, because I'm sure there were some people that didn't think Whitney was going to come back, myself included. I said it on this podcast. So I think they're really like honing in on like she'll be there. They want people to know Whitney's going to be there.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I think that's what last week I was like, there's no way she's gonna not come back to this thing.
And then there's this whole custody battle with Brittany and Cruz and Jax Taylor that I guess he handed over his custody to Brittany legally and physically. But people are saying that just means she can now make like decisions for Cruz, but Jax can still see him.
Why did he do that? Like, that's a big thing to do. I guess he just didn't want to go to court.
I don't know. I also think there's something to be said that the Valley wrapped like 2 weeks ago and now it's happening. Like, I wonder if they weren't allowed to do this while it was filming, if maybe they wanted scenes of Jax being a single dad and taking care of Cruz alone. Like, I wonder if that had anything to do with it. That's a theory of mine.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that he like gave it up. I'm sure there was some sort of fight, but it just was like, okay, and he gave it over. And then of course he like fucked up the paperwork and said that like he wasn't married. He is. Lance Bass assured us. Don't worry, everybody.
Yeah, so he claimed that he wasn't even legally married to Brittany, and then Brittany responded to that and said, "We are legally married. I'm guessing paperwork is hard for some people." And then, yes, like Carolyn said, Lance Bass enters the chat and said, "I can confirm this. Pastor Lance signed the papers."
So good for Cruz, I guess.
So let's get in. Let's see if this works. Let's get into our Real Housewives Roundup. I think it's about time we add sound effects to this podcast. What do you say?
Where did you do that?
I didn't even listen. No, I literally didn't even. I just Googled galloping noise. So it might be different every episode, whatever Google comes up with.
Perfect. That was great. God, genius. Genius, I say.
I love it. Let's talk about Salt Lake first.
All right. We have the 3rd episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I feel like a ton didn't happen this episode. I feel like a lot of it was vacation activity filler of bobbleheads and gambling. But there were a few big plot points that obviously escalated to a big fight at the very end. First, the most important thing in this episode that I think we need to address is that supposedly Mary Cosby's father smelled the victims of Jeffrey Dahmer back in the day.
This woman has a story for everything. I saw on Watch What Happens Live, or it was like a meme or something where they were like, Mary's dad smelled Dahmer's victims and Mary Cosby smells hospitals. Because Jen Shaw smelled like hospital.
It was the craziest story. And I was like, I'm so glad I paid attention in this scene, or else I would have missed the biggest diamond in the rough.
Well, and that is why people love Mary Cosby, and I get it.
That's true. And I gave her a lot of hate last episode and have been just behind closed doors. Also been like, why? She's just so mean. She is showing a lighter side, and she did show a bit of a lighter side this episode.
I agree. So my first initial notes before they even get to Milwaukee are, everyone hates Whitney. That's what I'm gathering.
Yeah.
My second note is, I just wrote down my thoughts. Joel Osment is trying to fuck Angie's brow girl, and that shows up later in the episode, and we'll talk about the brow girl. But it's like, I also saw a meme that was like, this is exactly why Angie's the center snowflake in the group. And this is exactly why it's episode 3, and she's already bringing her brow girl into this.
Wait, is it Jared or Joel Osment?
Joel. Did I say Jared?
No, you said Joel. I thought it was Jared, but I trust you. Oh.
It is Jared Osmond. It's Jared, not Joel. I confused it with Haley Joel Osment.
That's what I thought. I was like, I think there's another actor that's like named
Imagine if this girl
Oh,
was
yeah.
dealing with Haley Joel Osment and he was her fuckboy behind the scenes.
They would be a player. No, but what you said, everyone hates Whitney. The funny thing is, the one person who doesn't seem to this episode is Heather. Like they seem to be on way
Yeah,
better terms
yeah.
than they were beforehand. For Heather to be sticking up for Whitney like that, and then for them to like sneak off and do that shot together,
Yeah, it was
his bosom
cute.
cousins. Yeah, I thought so. That relationship seems to have gone in the right direction a little bit.
Yeah, but so yeah, when you were talking about Mary seeming a little softer, I clocked that as well. Were you going to say when she hugged Lisa Barlow at the table when she was crying about Jack?
Oh no, I didn't even catch that.
Oh,
What
I
was
thought
about?
because Lisa's crying about Jack, who's having medical issues, which is scary. It's scary to have health issues anywhere. And she's crying at the table, and Mary comes up behind her and hugs her from behind, and it's like, she said something like, you're a mom. This is okay. It's okay to be sad. Like, and I was like, okay, I'm starting to see more of Mary's, like, why people are friends with her, you know?
I wouldn't be surprised if she's just never had good girlfriends.
Yeah.
I think this is a new experience for her to be around people that are supporting her and not pushing her away. And I bet she's had a lot of trauma in the past with those topics. So I think she's just hopefully warming up to these women as true friends, not just as castmates.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. One of my big notes is, and I would like for you to answer this, who the fuck would choose to go to a bobblehead museum over a casino?
Oh yeah, that was so dumb. That was a poor mistake.
But
Well,
I think a lot of
okay.
people, okay, they did look like they had fun in the bobblehead museum, and I actually ate my words after I saw them do their little scavenger hunt.
Okay, I do like weird ass shit. For my birthday one year, I did like the death tour. Like I love doing
Oh.
weird things. Bobblehead, I probably would have been like, that's weird enough, and I would never do that. But I love the casino. I'm a casino girl. I would go there hands down.
I will say the casino looked a little dead.
Well, the odds are the odds, baby.
Milwaukee's not known for their casinos.
You say that Kyle was watching with me and he goes, I've been to that casino. I lost a lot of money.
No way.
Yeah, Kyle's also a card shark, or I don't know if you're a shark if you like lose money, but we're card fiends, I guess.
A
We
guppy.
love casinos. A guppy.
But yeah, I don't want to talk too much shit on the Bobblehead Museum because I did eat my words because it did look fun and I was like enjoying their little scavenger hunt. I was playing along. We also learned that Whitney apparently is using designs off Alibaba, which I didn't even really know what that was, and selling them at 20 times the price. I saw the comparison photo.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I've seen, yes, something that she's selling versus on like AliExpress or whatever. It is the same thing.
I have thought about doing this myself, Kate. I've seen so many TikToks. I got into the algorithm of like, do you want to make passive income?
Yeah.
Take this thing from Alibaba and then just mark it up for 10 to 20 times the price. This is the thing you do with everything, by the way. It's like not just jewelry. People do it with little boxes or containers or shirt things. Like you can do it with anything.
So what is Alibaba? It's just a website to buy designs?
Alibaba's like the cheap ass wholesaler bulk product maker that you can buy products and then sell yourself. So you can buy anything from Alibaba and then put your own branding on it and be like, I'm selling this for $9.95. The thing is, from Alibaba, you probably bought it for 5 cents. And she's
Right.
probably selling it for 10 to 20 times the price. That's why if you set it up so it's automatically, especially if you do like drop shipping and all this stuff, I told you I've been down this rabbit hole. You can make a good amount of money. I would not suggest it for the primary source of your jewelry brand.
Yeah, especially when you're like a public figure and people are going to try and out you any way they can.
Like I've thought about doing it for like fans or something silly, but like when you are a brand, like
You were gonna sell fans?
yeah, there's this whole thing. There were fans. They were like, I was like, well, what if I did the math? I did the math on it. You still need like a few $1,000s to get all the setup costs though. If anyone's interested, DM me. I'll send you all the related videos.
Sending my business plan.
Yeah, I'll still send you what I was thinking. And for me, it was a net negative, and so I didn't do it. Yeah, for someone's whole jewelry line to be from Alibaba, that is really embarrassing. That's really embarrassing.
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how Whitney defends herself next
Let me
episode.
explain it this way. It would be like if you went to the Dollar Tree, which I don't even know if it still exists, by the way, and bought a shit ton of bouncy balls and then sold those to your friends for $20.
Right.
That's what it would be like.
Right.
They're taking something really cheap and trying to say it's worth a whole lot when it's not.
Right.
And it's
Makes
probably going to
sense.
tarnish and stuff like that. Yikes.
I want to quickly talk about Brittany and Jared, and she is just down bad for this man. Down bad for this man.
Down bad indeed.
At one
Right at the
point,
gym.
I forget who it was. Maybe it was Lisa Barlow or someone when they were at the casino. They looked at her and real quick, they were like, he's not your entire personality.
Lisa handled it like a pro to take her phone and then text back.
Yeah,
exactly like that.
it seems like she is the type, and I think we've all met someone like this, male or female, that it's like all they talk about is the person they are dating. And then to learn that this guy who all she talks about is him is now trying to fuck the brow girl, that's tea.
That's so much tea.
Utah is such a small place, man. The word really travels fast.
Especially if you're an Osmond, famous Richard Osmond. I have no idea.
I think we need to put some respect on the Osmonds name, because I too am like, why do we even care about the Osmonds? But it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal to them. I respect that too. But the girl needs to move on.
Yeah.
You're right. I gave her way too much credit last episode, I think.
No, oh, by the way, listening back, Carolyn, I actually agreed with you. I like that you always have like the benefit of the doubt. You always start with a very positive outlook on people. I think that's actually a very good trait, that you're so quick to defend people, because I think most people are quick to hate on them. I'm sure she's a good person, but that just doesn't change the fact that she's down bad for this man.
Down bad, crying at the gym, just like Taylor Swift herself. I don't know. I thought Angie could have handled it a lot better. Just talking about it, gossiping at it at the basketball game until she overheard her, and then like
they were right next to each other.
She was right there. It was like she was wanting that to happen so she wouldn't have to do it herself. I don't know. But then she didn't have really that much compassion when she was breaking the news. I mean, like, if someone told you, hey, don't worry about it, or like, don't let this like take you down, but your boyfriend's cheating on you, bye, and then expect her to like just live her life at the basketball game as if this devastating news hadn't just been brought to her, it was hard for me to watch.
In Angie's defense, though, that did happen to her last season, when Monica just said, oh, by the way, your husband's gay and he has a bunch of boyfriends throughout Utah and he's fucking guys, bye.
Angie did not sit down on that. I mean, she was up in arms about it immediately.
Yeah.
Brittany, I feel like she's like the odd girl out in the group, and I feel bad for her. And I was really happy Meredith followed her.
Me too. I thought that was a beautiful moment. Don't have much to say about Melee yet, this new girl that's kind of sort of in, friend of.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to say is, I can't believe I'm even saying this sentence. Mary wears a super tampon to prevent her from peeing. I hate myself for thinking this. She knows there's two different holes, right?
Oh my God.
I mean, she does. I know she does. But that's where my mind immediately went of like, how does that correlate? But then I saw him watch what happened. Well, yeah.
Oh, but yeah, 1 for 1. Do you think she...
What if I was like, what? There's 3?
I've had that conversation with girls before. I guess it was like 10 years ago. But you know, you gotta know.
I had to teach my ex-fucking boyfriend that there were 2 different female holes.
I had to teach many men that as well. Yeah,
Crazy.
They don't know. They think it's all from the same place.
But apparently on Watch What Happens Live, people were saying that they've done that and it works. And Heather was like, I think we're all going to do it at the reunion this year.
Yeah, well, good luck on them. It's funny you mentioned that, and we didn't even touch on the biggest argument of the entire episode, which was about this Bronwyn versus Heather versus Lisa thing.
It's white noise to me. I don't even give a fuck.
It is. It's like a chihuahua still like, guys, let's move on.
Yeah.
Let us move
I can
on.
identify like what is real drama and what is going to be a fight that gets resolved next episode. The Jared Osmond, that's going to be real drama. whatever, I don't even care about what they're fighting about, whatever.
Well,
it's going to be
you
resolved next
say that,
episode.
but did you see on Watch What Happens Live? They did a poll of whose side they're on, Bronwyn or Heather, and it was like evenly split.
Ooh,
And
T.
and Heather kept going, just wait, just wait.
I actually didn't watch the full episode, so that's T. That's T.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, now let's
That's
get
Salt Lake City.
Yeah, that's Salt Lake City. Now let's get into the Real Housewives of New York real fast. I loved this first episode. I think I might be alone. I love this. I really enjoy this franchise. I enjoy this reboot, but that's probably because I didn't watch the original New York.
You didn't watch the original.
Yeah.
That's what I was just gonna say. And that's okay. I don't like putting them in the same group. It's apples and oranges. Well,
Right, they are
it's
two
literally
completely.
apples and other different apples. Like it's
Yeah.
two different New Yorks. I thought for this cast, it was a really good first episode. I mean, it did revolve around like 3 past event dramas that happened off camera, which was kind of confusing. But at the end, it was still entertaining to meet everyone new, see everything blow up,
Yeah.
and see where we go from here.
So take us through it, because you have like a breakdown here of like the big situations.
I was getting confused. So there's 3 stitches, as I say, that were going down this episode. First one, Jenna's vintage car broke down in the Hamptons. Aaron paid for the Uber. Bryn said Aaron insinuated Jenna has money troubles. Aaron says she didn't say that. That's the entirety of that argument. Now they bring this argument back up. Aaron is so butthurt that Bryn would insinuate to Jenna. Jenna was upset that Aaron would insinuate such a thing. Bryn doubled down on it. I mean, it's a lot about who said what at the Hamptons. At the end of the day, it's just a he said, she said. Like who said,
Right.
she said. Who's on first? We don't know. So that's one situation. And Aaron is just mad about that. But Bryn is mad at Aaron because Sitch 2. Jeff Lewis asked Aaron on his podcast if Bryn has financial support from a man. I don't even know if he said from a man. He just said,
Yeah.
Did someone help her? And Aaron said no, but she didn't actively shut down Jeff as much as Bryn would have liked her to. And in Bryn's mind, therefore, she was letting the rumor live and give life to it.
I don't think Aaron did or said anything bad on this Jeff Lewis podcast. She said no, she didn't think her money came from anywhere else. But to me, it seems like Bryn is just salty at Aaron, which is why she's over exaggerating this Jenna is poor and can't afford an Uber story. She's salty and mad at Aaron. So now she's trying to pull the puppet strings to get everyone to be mad at Aaron because she's mad at Aaron. When really, if we've learned one thing about Jenna Lyons, not much works this bitch up. She literally doesn't care. Even if Aaron did say she was poor, Jenna is which Jenna knows she's not, so it doesn't really matter. But Jenna pulled her aside, talked to her about it. They're good. Jenna doesn't give a fuck. But Bryn is harping on this because she wants everyone to be mad at Aaron because she's mad at Aaron. I stand by the fact I don't think Aaron said anything bad on Jeff Lewis. And then Aaron at the final scene was like, yeah, Jeff said that I'm a prostitute or a call girl or whatever. And Sai was like, no, he didn't.
Which brings in Sitch.
Or Bryn said that.
Finish your thought.
Yeah. And that's the rest of my thought. Go ahead.
So I thought about it because at first I was really on your side. I agree with you. Jeff Lewis. Well, okay. I can see from both sides. Jeff Lewis, if I tried to think of it again, if like you went on Jeff Lewis podcast and think about if Jeff Lewis insinuated that I was a sugar baby and you didn't shut it down, I do think I would be hurt.
But she did shut it down. She said no.
She said no, and then she goes, oh, you think she does?
Oh, okay.
You know, I would be a little upset. I wouldn't be blowout upset, but I would be like, man, that sucks. I would have thought she'd had my back a little bit more, unless she has a sugar daddy.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't be surprised if she does. If anything, I bet Aaron was covering for Bryn. I really like Bryn, but I didn't think what Aaron did was too wrong. I could see how it'd be offensive, though.
I mean, think about it. Look, I don't know how people make their fucking money, okay? If I did, I'd have it, all right? And I don't have any money. But you do think about Bryn lives, I would say, in a similar lifestyle to all the other women on the show. And all the other women on the show are either, currently working or whatever, and have husbands who are bankers, lawyers, realtors, whatever. Or they're people like Jenna Lyons or Rebecca Minkoff, who they're big names. And Bryn, I can't even remember what she said she did. She like owned a PR company like a couple years ago. I don't think it's that far off to think maybe she does have some money coming in from somewhere, whether it's like alimony. Well, she never got married, but she's been engaged before. Like, I think
it's basic math, right? Like she lives in a nice place and she has to therefore have money from somewhere.
Right. I think, and she's very open about how she doesn't come from money. I do think it's a valid question to say. He didn't say, is she a sugar baby? He didn't say, is she a call girl or whatever the fuck? He just said, you said, like, is she getting money from somewhere?
Yeah.
Is she getting help financially?
Yes.
And I think that's a valid question.
It's a valid question that we're all thinking he just said it, to be honest. And Jeff Lewis is the shadiest motherfucker on the planet. He absolutely was thinking sugar baby, I think. But he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He just said, is there someone else helping financially? Which, good motherfucking question.
I think she's not, and I think it's like she's not really that. It's not really Jeff that she's mad at. It's Aaron. I think she's mad at Aaron for a plethora of reasons. I have a theory that Bryn is being set up to be the villain this season.
Which makes me sad.
Sometimes I wonder, though, if that happens because it's almost like people like to turn on the fan favorite. Like if all the women watched it back and saw that Bryn, my mom has this theory that all of the women on Real Housewives, my mom, she gets mentioned every podcast. She has a theory that all of the women saw that Lisa Vanderpump was a favorite on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and they turned on her because they were jealous that she was a fan favorite. And I do feel like Bryn was the fan favorite that came out of season 1. So now people are kind of starting to turn on her, but at the same time, she is starting shit.
I was going to say, I would agree with that if I felt their anger wasn't coming from a justified place. But both Aaron and Sai were genuinely upset. I mean, they're not that good of actors.
Right.
And like, this leads to Stitch 3, which again comes from an off-camera moment where Sai confronts Jenna about hearing rumors that Sai hates Jenna. And Jenna says those rumors came from Bryn. So it's all coming back to Bryn. When Sai got upset, it was 0 to 60 in like a Porsche second. Like, what? I don't think she could be making that up. I think she was genuinely that pissed.
Yeah, and her therapy out the window, like she said. Well, and that's the issue. It's like I feel like Bryn is kind of starting to play like this victim-y thing of like, I didn't do that. How could they think I'm mean? I just giggle and laugh all the time. But it's like, no, you're literally starting shit at every corner. Like you're spreading rumors and gossip and you're misconstruing these stories. I don't blame these women for being upset at you, because if you look at that event that they had at the end of the episode, everyone was cool with each other, but Bryn was starting shit. Like even Sai and Jenna had that conversation. They hugged, they were like, we're good, we're laughing. Jenna and Aaron had a conversation. I heard you said this. Okay, we're good. They're friends again. It is Bryn who is stirring the pot. And again, I'm just always out here playing devil's advocate. All I'm saying is it makes me wonder if she's pulling a Lala Kent in the sense that she is now the producer's puppet. And the producers are saying, you should say this, you should, like, creating the drama, because unfortunately it doesn't really seem like there was much drama in this episode if Bryn wasn't there.
Interesting. I wasn't going to compare her to Lala. You know who I was going to compare her to? Whitney from Salt Lake City.
I see that.
In the sense of like, she is starting a lot of stuff and not realizing that she is the starter of it. But I still, oh God, here I go again. I've got to stop being so nice to people. I'm like, she doesn't mean to. She means to.
Well, I get it. I like Bryn, but I also have eyes and I can see we've all see it. She's over here talking about, she's gossiping at the furniture store. She's gossiping here, she's gossiping there. And then it cuts to her talking Hannah. She's like, who, me? It's like, just own up to it. Like, if you're pissed, be pissed. Say that.
Yeah.
But I do like Brynn, and it's only one episode, so we'll see, you know, obviously what ends up happening. What was your first impression of Raquel?
Raquel isn't Becky. Raquel is the one that's married to Mel.
Yeah.
Engaged to Mel. Well, the fact that I just had to clarify who they were kind of gives me...
Yeah, we didn't get I just wrote Raquel first impression, cool. I think she's cool.
She seems super cool. Her wife, fiance, whoever seems super cool. What did you think about Rebecca Minkoff?
Yeah, I love that we're calling her Becky. I love that that's like a thing that we're doing. This will either make perfect sense or no sense at all. But for some reason, Rebecca Minkoff reminds me of Kourtney Kardashian. I don't know why. It's all I could think of when they're at the brunt. I don't know why. Think about it while you watch and let me know if I'm crazy.
Okay. I definitely will do that because I'm curious as to where that's coming from.
I think it was just the way she was
shaking a salad.
I think it was just the way she was talking, the way that she didn't say much, but she like kind of I don't know. I knew this would be a weird thing to say,
but didn't really care about being there. Maybe
let's just assess next episode. I want the Gabbers to watch and assess next episode, and then we'll talk.
Okay. I believe in you and all that you do. So I will watch.
I thought it was interesting that Erin got mad at her husband for saying she does mushrooms on camera because honestly, that kind of made me like Erin a little bit more. She made her a bit cooler to me.
It was really weird because she said that thing in the Hamptons about tripping. Her problems with her husband, girl, I don't know what is going on. But I want to find out.
It seems like she just doesn't like him. I think he's cool. He reminds me of actually Seth from Salt Lake. Like, I just feel like he's like a funny, cool guy. Obviously, all the girls like him. Like, they think he's fun to be around. Like, I don't know if she's building something out of nothing to give herself more of a storyline. I don't know. But I guess we'll find out. But yeah, she got real triggered by that. And even he was kind of like, you said it.
Yeah, but in the teaser for the upcoming episodes, there is an emphasis on that relationship. So like something's going on. He did something wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's what's shaking her to her core when she's talking to Brynn in that clip. We'll just have to watch and see, won't we?
We'll wait and find out. I also just wrote down, I love Jessel and I love her husband's love for food. I think they're funny and goofy. I actually listened, this was a while ago, but I listened to Brynn on a podcast and she was like, Jessel is the funniest person I know, and it doesn't really come across on the show, but like her and Pavitt should have their own show. They should have like a newlyweds type show. Like the things that they do together and say, like, they are so underratedly funny. And ever since I heard that, I think of that now that when I watch, and I do get it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I was in love with them when I heard the Vietnam Banh Mi story the first time. I was like fucking sold. Like, this guy is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's some weird ass shit. And I love that he like dragged her to this like crazy random ass dumpling spot.
Yeah.
I think they're so funny. And talk about like a comeback. I think Jessel in our eyes started in a lower place.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a fan favorite this season.
Totally agree. I'm really excited to see that. But yeah, overall, I actually thought it was a great episode. I really enjoyed watching it. I like New York better than Salt Lake so far.
So far, I need more data. I'll see what next episode holds.
I know that was kind of a bold thing for me to say, but I said it and I don't take it back.
You shouldn't.
So we are doing something very fun this weekend. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast yet. Did we? Oh yeah,
yes.
we did. But now that the day is finally here, we are going to be on the panel at LA ComicCon for a segment titled Reality TV Now. And we will be on it with Rob from Vanderpump Rob's podcast, the Bachelor PD podcast, and Peter Madrigal from Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah, come by. We're gonna have so much fun. Kyle will be there.
Oh, he will. That's nice. He's a real one.
He was like, "Can we like look around Comic-Con?" I was like, Do you know any anime?" He's like, "No, but like, how cool is that?" So
I'm definitely planning on walking around Comic-Con.
Yeah,
it's more than just. It's not anime. It's like. It's everything. Back to the Future is good. There's going to be a Back to the Future exhibit. That's not like a comic book.
we're there. So
Exactly.
there's clearly more. Yeah.
Exactly. I think I'm wearing a hot pink like blazer dress, but I'm not sure.
Oh, nice. I was thinking of maybe wearing like an all black thing to go with like a bodysuit and the boots. I might like
Ooh.
kind of a Catwoman-esque look.
Oh, Carolyn,
Maybe.
do it. That sounds
Maybe.
hot.
Oh, we'll see. I don't know if I have pants. We'll figure it out.
What about the like leggings that you always wear on Girls Unscripted? Those like
I could wear
feathery
those.
ones. I like
I
those.
could. Yeah.
They work.
Great call. We'll see if they're
But
too like tight. I don't know. I've never worn it with a bodysuit.
oh well, you'll see.
It's courageous of me. I'll just say that.
But I did listen in. Rob and Peter did an Instagram live yesterday where they kind of were talking about the panel, and I'm excited because the gist I was getting is Rob is the moderator, so it's gonna kind of be like when we went on Rob's podcasts. So that like eased my nerves a lot.
We should do something really controversial this weekend. Everyone should come just to see what antics we pull.
Don't loop me into that, okay? That's a you thing. I'm just going and I'm doing my job and I'm leaving.
The biggest controversy will be my ass in these leather leggings.
Yeah, maybe now we log off and figure out our outfits because I have to cut the shoulder pads out of my blazer. It's a bit much. I kind of look like the shrunken head guys from Beetlejuice. I need to fix it.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
But thank you guys so much for listening. We're sorry if our audio was all fucked up during this thing. We had some technical issues. We can't always be perfect.
We can't always be perfect. I'm so sorry. I'm so bummed that this episode is where I guess it's my mic flipped out. Thanks for bearing with us. We promise we'll be back to normal next time.
And on that note, we will see you next week and we'll tell you all about ComicCon and whatever other antics we get into.
Love you guys so much.
Bye.
Bye.